Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news folks, there's a lot of buzz swirling around the 49ers defense lately, and it's not just idle chatter. Some insiders are talking about a potential trade that could reshape how the team defends the field in the upcoming seasons. Rumors are pointing towards a possible deal involving Antoine Winfield Jr. from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Wait, Winfield, isn't he a Buccaneer? What's the scoop? Well, let me break it down. This isn't just idle speculation. It's a strategic move that could have huge implications for the 49ers' secondary and overall defense. And trust me, if this trade happens, it's one you're going to want to keep your eye on because it could be a game changer for San Francisco, especially considering how the team's current secondary has been performing and where it's heading. Now first, let's talk about who Antoine Winfield Jr. is and why he's such a hot name right now. For those of you who follow the NFL closely, especially the 49ers faithful, you already know how important versatile safeties are in today's game. Winfield, at just 27 years old, has established himself as one of the most dynamic safeties in the league since coming into the NFL in 2020. He's what you'd call a hybrid safety, someone who can do it all. He can cover, he can support against the run, and he's not shy about making big plays. Last season, he posted some impressive stats that really highlight how valuable he is. With 95 tackles, he ranked among the top 15 safeties in the league. That's no small feat considering the talent out there. He also snagged 4 interceptions, which is a pretty solid number, and added 11 pass deflections, showing that he's a real threat in coverage. His PFF grade last year was a stellar 88.9, placing him in the top 8 safeties in the league, an elite mark that speaks volumes about his consistency and skill level. When we look at his overall career, Winfield has accumulated around 400 tackles and 16 picks, along with 8 sacks. That's a pretty impressive resume for a safety, especially one who's still in the prime of his career. His ability to contribute both in coverage and in run support makes him a true Swiss Army knife for any defense. And he's proven his worth in big moments, earning All-Pro honors in 2023. In terms of his playing style, he's comparable to Minkah Fitzpatrick in terms of versatility and impact. And interestingly enough, his trade value might be similar to what we saw when the Steelers acquired Fitzpatrick back in 2019, adding a player who can turn the tide with turnovers and big plays. Now, what about injuries? Last season, Winfield had a minor shoulder issue that caused him to miss a handful of games, about 15 in total. But he bounced back strong, and his overall performance remained elite. His blitz win rate of 36% shows he's effective when rushing the quarterback, and he's allowed just a 38% completion rate on deep passes against him. His coverage numbers are top-notch, with an 87.2 grade in that category, and he supports the run with an 84.6 grade. His EPA per target was 16, indicating he neutralizes the opposing offenses effectively. Plus, he forced 3 fumbles last year, adding to his playmaking ability. All these numbers point to a player who's not just good, but game-changing. So why would the Buccaneers consider trading Winfield? Well, Tampa Bay, with a record of 7-10 last season and a cap space of around $22 million, is facing some tough decisions. They're in the middle of a rebuild, and their priorities are shifting. The team desperately needs help on the edge rush, and they're also looking at their quarterback situation, especially after the departure of Baker Mayfield. Rumors suggest that Tampa might be looking to move on from Winfield after the team's struggles last year, especially as they focus on rebuilding with a new core. Reports from insiders like Rossini indicate that Tampa Bay could be open to trading Winfield, especially if they can land a solid draft pick or an asset that fits their current rebuild plans. The trade talks are said to revolve around a third-round pick in 2026, a relatively low cost for such a versatile and impactful safety. Now, looking at the fit for the 49ers, this is where it gets interesting. The team has around $37 million in cap space, which makes a deal feasible. The 49ers need a safety who can step in and provide immediate impact, especially after losing some depth and experience with injuries and roster changes. Having a player like Winfield would be huge, not just because of his talent but because of his versatility. He can play in various defensive schemes, and his ability to cover both in the slot and deep helps the 49ers address vulnerabilities that have been exposed at times, especially with Bosa out and the secondary having some inconsistencies. His skill set would allow San Francisco to be even more flexible on defense, creating mismatches and applying pressure on opposing quarterbacks. In fact, adding Winfield would give the 49ers a significant boost in the deep secondary. His ability to cover and make plays on the ball would complement Hufanga nicely, forming a formidable safety tandem. Not to mention, the secondary as a whole would benefit from his presence, especially considering the team's 20th-ranked EPA per pass last season. That's a number they'll want to improve, and Winfield's addition could be the spark they need. His projected interception count of around 5 picks this year, combined with his ability to create turnovers, adding roughly 8 additional turnovers per game, could elevate the 49ers' defense to an even more dominant level. Let's not forget the bigger picture here. The 49ers are always aiming for that Super Bowl, and every piece they add is about closing the gap and pushing them over the top. Winfield's playstyle and production align perfectly with their aggressive, ball-hawking defense. His history of making big plays, combined with his ability to support against the run and cover in deep zones, makes him a perfect fit, especially with the team's current needs. Plus, his proven track record of big plays, like those game-changing turnovers, reminds us of players like Troy Polamalu, who could turn a game in an instant. Imagine a secondary with Winfield and Hufanga laying the wood and creating chaos for offenses. That's a nightmare for any quarterback. Now talking about impact on the playoffs and Super Bowl odds, a player like Winfield could be a real difference maker. His addition could boost the 49ers' odds from plus 1,500 to potentially plus 850, according to some betting sites like DraftKings. That's a huge swing, and it shows how much of a difference a player like him can make when it counts most. He's the kind of player who elevates a defense and can be the X factor in critical moments. Think of the Steelers with Polamalu or the Seahawks, Legion of Boom in 2013. He's got that kind of potential to swing games and even series. In conclusion, this trade isn't just about acquiring a talented safety. It's about setting a new tone for the 49ers' defense, creating a more dynamic, aggressive, and turnover-generating unit. Winfield would be a cornerstone piece, anchoring the secondary for years to come and helping the team push for another Super Bowl. It's a bold move, but if the 49ers want to stay at the top of the NFC and make a deep playoff run, adding a player like Winfield could be exactly what they need. The team has the cap space, the draft capital, and the motivation to make it happen. Fans, I know we're all excited about the possibilities. This could be the move that cements the 49ers' legacy in the modern NFL era. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest San Francisco 49ers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you guys think? Would you like to see the 49ers pull the trigger on a trade for Anton Winfield Jr.? Do you believe he's the missing piece that takes this defense to the next level? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the 49ers. This team is always evolving, always chasing greatness, and your passion drives that pursuit. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news. Let's keep the energy high, and as always, go Niners.